Welcome to the New York City Athletic Club, and we're back home at the AAU James E. Sullivan Award. The program is about to start in 5 minutes. Thank you for your patience. I think we're going to have a wonderful show for you tonight with a lot of great athletes and a lot of great speeches. So thank you for listening in, and we look forward to talking to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The program is about to begin.
Welcome to the New York Athletic Club and the 77th Annual James E. Sullivan Awards, celebrating sports at its purest level.
Awards have been presented annually by the Amateur Athletic Union since 1930.
We have world champions here tonight. We have Olympic tonight. We have world record holders.
Well, tonight it's perfect. We have athletes who in just about every case have done things that we've never seen before.
This is a wonderful moment for all of you. It's not just what you've done in your athletic arenas, it's the things we hear about you away from that arena.
I think the most common characteristic is a work ethic. These kids it's unbelievable the amount of work and the passion and drive and time they put into their craft. Whether it's gymnastics or football, these kids put countless hours in the training rooms, on the fields, on the courts. It's amazing the commitment they make and their families make.
For us to have an award, like a Sullivan Award, like an Oscar of athletics, I mean, it's such a, it's been around for so long, so many years, so many great people.
I mean, people winning Heismans, multiple gold medalists, and to be a part of that group is just phenomenal.
You're up against all sports, which I think is amazing, just because it's so diverse of an award.
We put in so much work every day towards a goal years down the line, and to be recognized and together for something like this is really special.
I feel like amateur athletes put so much hard work into what they do and their sport, and everything goes on behind the scenes. Someone gets, and I feel like this is one of the awards that really recognizes that hard work.
You hear about time, doing great things on the field, and the cool thing about people that I've got to meet here is what they do off the field.
It takes their sport, into consideration, but also, how they live their life, which is very important.
They all have the same values of the commitment to excellence of their sport, their drive, their discipline.
That's what this award represents. It represents integrity, it represents passion, it represents being true to your ideals.
I think honoring just the raw athlete as what they were before all the fame and the money and everything, I think is really special.
And what a better way than to be in the venue like the New York Athletic Club that is just the epitome of amateur sport.
Thank you to New York Athletic Club. I am a member and a world champ for you guys, so it feels good every time to come back to the AC.
It's a huge honor for us that are really, maybe don't get the support that, the professional athletes do. We put our heart and soul into what we do every day, and so to have people see that is really huge for us.
And I think that's one thing that the AAU does very well is they consider athletes in such a wide variety of sports, and they bring recognition to sports that maybe wouldn't have necessarily had that spotlight shined on them.
And I think being a multi-sport organization, this drives what all of our on all the playing fields and all the gyms in the country are doing every day.
This will have an incredible impact on my sport because, again, it shows that you're never too old to strive for something. You're never too old to have goals out there, and you will to be recognized, and that's what we all look for.
People don't remember titles that you've won 3 years down the road. What people remember is your character, your passion, your heart, everything that the Sullivan Award defines.
I am an amateur athlete in its purest form, and I perform because I love it.
I mean, we've had some phenomenal athletes win this award. And it's got such a rich tradition, and it goes back so many years. I think it's very significant.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host for the night, Olympic silver medalist fencer Tim Morehouse.
So welcome all of you to the 85th Annual Sullivan Awards, both here in person and live on our live stream going around the world. This is truly an honor. By the way, we are back here at the New York Athletic Club after 2 years, so just round of applause to the New York Athletic Club for having us back here. And Sarah, you have to give it because you had half your speech up on there, so I hope you're ready for later. This is actually my 6th year hosting the AAU Sullivan Awards. It is one of my favorite days of the year. This award means so much because it's more than just about the accomplishments on the field. It's about all the accomplishments that these athletes are doing on and off the field, really making a difference. So this is really an exciting night. Again, we have Olympic champions, we have world record holders, we have people who haven't even begun to accomplish the amazing things they're going to do at the 2016 Rio Games and beyond and in the NFL. So we've got athletes who are already achieving amazing things but are just at the start of their road but have already accomplished so much stuff. So I just want to say tonight is a celebration of these amazing athletes and a celebration of the power of sports to change lives. And we're going to do this a bunch of times, but a round of applause for all of our finalists, their families, everyone here. I really want to thank especially President Roger Gowdy of the AAU. I want to thank Pam Marshall and all the whole AAU that's really become a family for me. 7 years, I didn't even know what the AAU was. I was actually walking through the athletic club after a workout, and I peeked by and I saw Sean Johnson getting an award, and I saw Sarah Hughes, and I said, what is this? And the AAU team just welcomed me in, and I started to learn all about what the AAU is doing across the country. Hundreds of thousands of kids are getting the opportunity to play competitive sports because of the AAU, and they're having such a long and amazing impact, not to mention the Sullivan Award, which has such a prestigious history. You have people like Peyton Manning, you have Michael Phelps, Tim Tebow, Sarah Hughes, who's with us today, who have all accomplished amazing things on the field and are also doing amazing things for the world. So this is a really prestigious night, and for our finalists, you guys are in for a really fun night because we're here to celebrate you, we're here to congratulate you, and we're also here to learn a lot more about their stories and how much they're doing as well. So as I mentioned, this is my 6th year hosting the Sullivan Awards. I myself have been inspired by the AAU. I run actually a foundation for children. We have 15,000 kids who are fencing in low-income communities now around the country. It's my goal, same as the AAU, to really impact children, which is what I think sports is all about. How do we change lives? How do we use sports and use these role models to change athlete lives? In addition to that, you may have seen a fencer on TV stabbing an ATM machine. That is me. This is a commercial I'm in right now.
Technology designed for you, so you can eat.
So, fencers are like ever in television commercials, ever. So when they contacted me and they said, hey, we'd like you to be in a commercial with Serena Williams and the Rockettes, would you like to do that? I was like, I really tried hard not to scream, and it sounds pretty cool. Sure, why not? Although people still don't know my name, so on the subway now I get, "Are you the Chase fencing guy?" And I'm like, "Yes, that's my greatest accomplishment, is I stab an ATM machine with the saber now." But anyway, that's me, so it's been a good year. And I've also been known, Pam always asked me to do this, so I had kind of probably the most embarrassing moment at the Beijing Olympic Games. My team in our event in fencing, we're not really a sport that had won medals up to this point. We hadn't won a medal since 1948. And this is a video of fencing if you've never seen it before, but we're getting out there a little bit more. My teammate Keith Smart is about to send us to the finals of the Beijing Olympics. And I actually faint at the Olympic Games. And this was on TV. So the first time I was ever on national TV fencing, I actually passed out. And this is the big moment in my life right here. So Keith's on the left. He just scores. We're now going to the finals of the Olympics. You're going to see my back in a second. That's me with my back to you. And that is me passed out on the floor at the Olympic Games. Play it for you one more time for your enjoyment. So a lot of our athletes have these amazing videos scoring touchdowns. Like you saw Ezekiel running, and then you've got a celebration. You have Sarah Hughes like celebrating after she wins her gold medal, and this big smile, and everyone talks about her smile. And with me, you just had me laying on the floor at the Olympics. My teammates actually thought I was celebrating, and they actually jumped on top of me. And I woke up, and we were just hugging and crying, and it was just one of those powerful moments. Again, to see a dream coming true before your eyes was that powerful. That I've never done this ever in my life up until this moment, but it's that powerful, and that's why I'm so excited about learning and celebrating these athletes tonight. I want to share with you last year's winner, John Urschel. He's now playing for the Baltimore Ravens, and just for our finalists, just so you guys know the high bar of the Sullivan Award, John Urschel not only was playing football at Penn State, but he got a master's degree in the same time as most people get an undergrad, 4.0 undergrad, 4.0 master's in mathematics. He was teaching classes while he was playing football for Penn State, and he's published math equations like this one up here. All right, so our Sullivan Award finalists are all very talented. I have to say, John, this is like unbelievable last year talking about this equation, but the bar is very high. But the athletes this year are definitely up to the challenge. Tonight is really about learning about them. And we have, of course, Dancing with the Stars winners, right? We have Meryl. Where's Meryl? She's in the back. She can wave. She won Dancing with the Stars. I think we also have a bronze medalist from Dancing with the Stars, but her partner. We also have, we like to learn about these athletes, their embarrassing moments. In case you don't know about this story, Simone had just won a tournament, and there was a bee in her flower. And she actually jumped off the podium and was like running around because this bee was there. So that's Simone. We are going to embarrass them a little bit as well. We have cuteness tonight as well, okay? This is Charlie's dog. Round of applause, dog. By the way, I showed Simone this. She actually has 4 German Shepherds. So if you want to ask her later on her phone, she has those 4 German Shepherds. Do not go anywhere near her house. I will just warn you. In addition, we're going to learn about how far these athletes have come. Because, they weren't born as world champions and Olympic medalists somewhere. And we also just happen to have Katie Ledecky's first swim meet. And this is Katie Ledecky's first swim meet and post-interview.
How was it? Yeah? What were you thinking about in the pool?
Nothing.
Just trying to finish, huh?
It's kind of hard.
Well, it was a great swim, Katie. Great job.
Was that you interviewing her? So, of course, we have the Ledecky family, her first interview ever by her dad. So very good questioning. A round of applause for that. And, of course, we have amazing athletic feats. So we have just the unbelievable stuff these athletes do, and we love to learn about it. So pole vaulting, This just looks scary to me, but we're going to ask him all about how you do this and do it well. And I don't want to cause any trouble, but there's other Michigan fans here. Will you guys raise your hand? I know Charlie's a Michigan fan. So I don't want to cause trouble with our Sullivan finalists, but I just have to say, Ezekiel, this is a tweet about Michigan. I don't know if Charlie's in the back. We were talking about Michigan last night, but I guess he's not too fond of our Ohio State football player of Michigan. So that's Ezekiel. And of course, no matter what happens tonight, there's an amazing winner because Charlie White is getting married this weekend to Tanith. Will you stand up? This is his fiance. Come on, stand up. I told family members are putting them on the spot. So, by the way, they are getting married in just a few days. So it's an honor to have Charlie here, to be here for the Sullivan Awards and have his fiance. And no matter what, he has won because you guys are getting married, and that is amazing. So without further ado, I'd like to kick off the evening. We have Eileen Reed singing our national anthem.
Oh, say, you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and home of the brave?
AAU finalists Sean Barber, Simone Biles, Merrill Davis and Charlie White, Ezekiel Elliott, Katie Ledecky, and Jalil Okafor-Asik. And now to present all our finalists with their medals is President Roger Gowdy and the chair of the AAU Sullivan Award, Melissa Willis. Welcome to the stage, please. You got it? Nice kid.
Good afternoon. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming from across the country and some places even outside the country here with us today. I have the dubious distinction to recognize kind of all those people that are here with us that we appreciate so much that can make this happen. And I'd like to do that right now, starting with our officers of the Amateur Athletic Union that were newly elected back in October down in Fort Florida. Our first vice president, Mr. Rusty Buchanan, and his lovely wife, Kathy. Please stand. Our second vice president, Mr. Matt Williams, and his lovely wife, Therese. Our treasurer, Mr. Joe Mirza. And our national secretary, Ms. Cindy Tromley, and her lovely husband, Bob. I'd also like at this time, we had meetings all day yesterday, actually from 2 o'clock till 7 o'clock, and they're smiling a lot more than they were yesterday. We had our AAU National Board of Directors in town for a Board of Directors meeting. If at this time all of our Board of Directors would stand to be recognized, would you please do that? Also, we have a very special person in my life with me as our first female president of the Amateur Athletic Union, and is a mentor of mine, and is probably the reason the Amateur Athletic Union is where it is today. From Arkansas, from Ozark District, Miss Gussie Crawford. Gussie? We also have some representatives and some of our national AAU partners with us, and I hope I don't miss anyone here, but Mr. Stephen Vogel from our partner Gatorade. Stephen. Mr. Dave Corradini and Mr. Jonathan Hovis from Spalding. Mr. Brett Stewart from Nationwide Insurance. Brett. Also with us today from the New York City Athletic Club, which we're very proud to be back at, we have their rugby sport chair of the New York Athletic Club, Mr. Ted Vaccaro. Ted? The swimming sport chairman from the New York Athletic Club, Mr. Tom Gleason. And we have the delegation with us today that's partnering up with the AAU, and we're very, very, very proud to have them here today, thanks to Mr. Joe Mirza. The delegation from Albany, would you please stand to be recognized? Albany, New York. Thank you. We're getting down to the end of the list, but these are very important people to us. Allison Ekus, our Middle Atlantic AAU governor, and they are sponsors of today's event. Mr. Jim Foy from Foy Insurance for his generous contribution. Mr. Jim Fox from New York Metropolitan AAU, the governor, and is instrumental in us coming back. And Mr. Jack Bethke from the Connecticut AAU is also instrumental. And they brought delegations with them. Thank you for being here today. Last but not least, I guess I'd like to introduce to you the governors that are here today from the districts around the country of the Amateur Athletic Union that came at their own expense. I know James Henry's here. I know Dave Davis, but I don't want to miss anybody. So if you're a governor, please stand up. All right, and last but not least, the president and CEO of USA Gymnastics, Mr. Steve Penny. Okay, at this time, I'd like to bring back to the stage our new chairman this year of the AAU James E. Sullivan Award, Miss Melissa Willis. But I'd like to say a few words about Melissa first. Is when we got the new officers in charge, one of the things we were committed to doing was making some changes in strategic portions of our business. And one of those changes was to bring prominence back to the James E. Sullivan Award that it deserves. This girl and a lot of staff members that work with her, Pam Marshall and Rachel Durazio and many others, have worked tirelessly to make this event happen today. And I'm telling you, I've been coming to this event for over 30 years, and I can't tell you of a better finalist than this class sitting up here. This is amazing. So, Melissa?
When Dr. Gowdy had called me to ask me to be the chair for the AAU Sullivan Award, I just got the chills. These chills just like went right through my body. I'm like, are you kidding? What an honor. And I don't think those chills have left me. How many of you have experienced the chills when you walked into the New York Athletic Club? It's just, you walk down the hallways and then you get the chills every time you meet one of them or look at their smile and everybody throughout. So it's absolutely amazing. It's one of those days and one of those experiences that you look around and I think we all have to take that moment to just embrace it and think, wow, we're really witnessing something special today and are really of something extremely special. Peyton Manning, who was 1997 AAU Sullivan Award winner, said that the one thing that can never be sacrificed is your preparation and your work ethic. And while we see their highlight reels and we see all of the national championships and the world records and the Olympic medals that they all received, the one thing that happens behind the scenes day to day to day, every hour, every minute, is their preparation, the work ethic, that I think has been instilled in every single one of these finalists, which is just amazing. You know, we've had the opportunity to speak a lot over days. And, you know, just to hear just about the hours that they spend in the gym or on the ice or in class, gazing out at the wall when they're supposed to be listening and they're thinking about what their next strategy is for the pole vault or their beam routine. Sorry, probably shouldn't have repeated that, right? They were really listening. They were really studying. But it's that preparation, it's that mental, it's that work ethic that is instilled in every single one of them. And in addition to the daily grind, it's all the parents. I mean, the parents and the families is just unbelievable, the commitment that not only your athletes have had, but that all of you have had to the sports, to AAU. I know we've heard all the stories about some of the background with the AAU, and it's just unbelievable. So I'd like to just recognize, just quickly, all of the parents. If you can just please stand up and be recognized. Okay. As a mom of 3 daughters, who have been some competitive athletes, some Division I track athletes, and they've all been extremely competitive in athletics throughout all their years of growing up. To have and parents like you who help set the bar and set that leadership for all of our kids to have dreams to follow, we really, really appreciate. Because we know it's a lot of sacrifice on your hand as well. And I was talking to one of the moms earlier, and she's like, "Well, you're really passionate about this." I said, "You have no idea. You better believe it." So yes, I'm trying to hold back a little tear or two here because I'm so passionate about this. But anyways, we just wanted to again recognize everybody, thank the parents, and again, I don't think it would be the same if we weren't in this venue with the New York Athletic Club. And I just wanted to thank Dr. Roger Gowdy for having the vision to bring this back to where it should be, to the prestige, to the prominence of amateur athletics back at the New York Athletic Club. So as I bring Dr. Gowdy back onto the stage, let's give him a round of applause for bringing it back to where it belongs, home at the New York Athletic Club.
She didn't tell me I was allowed not to speak behind the podium. I hate standing behind podiums. I like being out with the people. So since she did it, I could be out here talking now. But I just got to tell you a little bit about my background so you know what kind of appreciation I have for what all athletes are doing. I spent my entire career, 40 years, in education. I currently am a school superintendent. As a matter of fact, a lot of people are having a hard time finding jobs. I have too many jobs right now. I'm trying to get out of that one and phase out and phase completely into this presidency. But as a school superintendent, you learn a lot of things about kids, families, parents, and values. And I got to tell you, when you see young athletes like this, and I know people like Charles Barkley say that they don't want to be role models, but everybody looks up to these kids. Millions of kids would love to be where they're at. I mean, they're the upper 1/10 of 1% of athletes in the world in their respective fields. I know when I was looking at the voting for this award, I was looking at their athletic ability, but then I started looking deeper into it and seeing some of the things people are saying about these young people. This is what's America, folks, right up here. We ought to give them all a round of applause. The other thing I got to tell you is I got a little bit of a bond with each 100 years ago when I was still coaching and teaching. At one point in time, I used to run track and field, pole vaulter, about 7 feet lower than what Sean Barper did on there, but I was a pole vaulter. And actually, you won't believe this one, but I used to coach girls gymnastics, and I shared that story last night at dinner with Simone. And I had a very talented young lady like Simone at the time, but she didn't make the grade on that. And I realized how competitive and how tough that sport is. And I never did ice dancing. I'm sorry. I probably should have, but I never did. But I did play football. I did play college football, and the thing was, our football team lived across from the ice rink, and we seriously used to go over there. None of them could skate. I was the only one that could skate, and our one kid on our team was the field goal kid, junior B hockey in Canada, and was better than anybody. So when we played intramural hockey, we all had figure skates on. Break out, these guys would all run off the bench and take care of business, and Herbie would just skate around and score goals for us. So I did do some skating. Football, I was nowhere near at your level, not even close to your level. But it's just watching you, being from Ohio, seeing what you've done, how you've kind of lifted the team on your back and moved it up. It's just so impressive. And the letter I got, or email I got, that he probably doesn't even know I got, unsolicited, from a person in St. Louis, talking about what a character young man he is and how he embraced his autistic son, got him to come to watch Ohio State game, take pictures with him, and still stays in contact with him. And then swimming, I was a lifeguard. I was never a lifeguard for different reasons. I just wanted to be around the pool. But I just can't even imagine. To pass the lifeguard test back 100 years ago, you had to be able to swim, I think it was a mile. And oh my God, for a football player, so I appreciate what swimmers do. I think I might have cheated a couple of laps or lengths, whatever they call it. But folks, these people are what these people are what amateur sport's about. And we're so proud at the Athletic Union of the United States, since we've been around since 1888, we're so proud to have this as our pinnacle award. And what makes us even prouder, we've brought it back to where it started. To give you a little bit of a history lesson here, in 1888, the Amateur Athletic Union was founded. It was founded by a guy, or many people, but one of them was James E. Sullivan. He was a member of the New York Athletic Club. So there's such a rich tradition here. Before you leave, is it the second floor that has all those trophies? Second? Second floor. If you haven't been there, you need to stop down on the second floor. It's just unbelievable, the richness of the tradition of this club. So when I became president, one of the first things I talked to some of the governors from this area and our new board of directors and our officers is to bring this back. We have to bring it back. This is where we all started. So we're so very, very, very proud that the New York Athletic Club embraced us, invited us back in, and wants to be partners with us on this event to make this event for these young athletes every year. We're just happy to be back. And in remembrance of that, we have a replica of the James E. Sullivan Award that we would like to present to, I got his name, I got to look again. To Mr. Robert Valdez Rodriguez. Would you please come up to the stage? On behalf, it's heavy. On behalf of the Amateur Athletic Union of the United States and the president of that organization, we would like to present to you, to keep in your building here, to display it properly, a replica of the James E. Sullivan Award.
Wow. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm just going to place it right here for now. This is very heavy. It's a huge honor. Thank you. Actually, wasn't expecting that, and it's a huge, huge honor. And we really do hope that this is going to be the permanent home of the Sullivan Award. I really want to welcome all of you here to this great club. I'm very, very biased. I do call it the best athletic club in the world, so excuse that bias, but I really inside do feel that. I've been a proud member of this club for over 25 years. I serve as the chairman of athletics. We have 17 sports where we compete at a very, very high level and an elite level. And that's what our athletics are about here from a competitive perspective. Before my role as the chairman of athletics, I was the chairman of the swimming team. You just heard Tom Gleason's name. He's now the chairman of swimming. So we all do spend a lot of our time and energy in the mission of this club, in the mission of the AAU, developing our athletes and all amateur athletics. I want to give another huge congratulations for all the award finalists. I'm in awe, actually, to be on the same stage as all of you. I got a chance to meet all of you during the lunch, and not only am I in awe of your athleticism, amazing athletes, but such great people, all of you, such amazing role models for all of the younger athletes of America today and around the world. So if I could just do one more, we do this a lot today, but if we do one more round of applause for our athletes. No one deserves it more. I would like to, of course, thank AAU President Dr. Roger Gowdy, the committee chair, Willis, and of course, Pam Marshall, for partnering with the New York Athletic Club. And I'll say it again to just really stress this. We really hope and strive to continue this partnership to keep this award as this permanent home here at the New York Athletic Club. You mentioned, Dr. Gowdy mentioned our association with the AAU. Really, from the very beginning of the AAU, the New York Athletic Club was part of it. It's part of both of our organization's DNA. And values are almost identical, which are really supporting amateur athletics, but supporting the athletes on a one-by-one basis. That's what we do, both of our organizations. We take amateur athletes and try in any way to put our arms around them and support them in any way to help them achieve their athletic pursuits. And that's the one bond that both of our organizations have together. We were first organized 20 years before the AAU was, in 1868. Again, with that same goal. We've, as a club, had members participate in every single Olympiad, except for 1980 in Russia. Every single Olympiad since the very first modern one in Athens, we've had our members participate. That's something that we're very, very proud of. Over those years, fast forward till today, our members have earned 248 Olympic medals. Of which 131 of those medals are gold. So it's something that I hate to say brag about, but we really are very, very proud. It dates back to our very first opening and organization back in 1868. In London, we sent 55 athletes to the Olympic Games, and we brought back 17 Olympic medals, of which 12 were gold. And it's not just about the Olympics, though. It's about all amateur sports. On May 12th, we're going to be holding our Winged Foot Award, where we the two winning coaches of the NCAA. So obviously Coach K and Coach K from Duke, and Coach Gino Ariemo from UConn. And on May 12th, we're going to have the big award celebrating their success. Just last night, as a matter of fact, we had our Hall of Fame induction, where we inducted 5 of our members into our Hall of Fame. One of those members was Rick Pitino. So again, it's not just about Olympic sports, it's about all amateur sports, and not always just about the athletes, but the coaches who bring those athletes to rise to the level of excellence that they do. One last mention, and just to reiterate, if you haven't had a chance to go down to the second floor Hall of Fame room, I really urge you to do that. It just, like the banners that you see there of all the wonderful, amazing elite athletes that are part of the AAU Sullivan Award, it'll give you an idea of similar feeling when you go down to our Hall of Fame room to see some of the amazing athletes that have been members of this club. Again, I'd like to thank you all again, welcome you all again, and again, congratulations to all of you. You're just amazingly talented athletes. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, please.
Again, I was telling the athletes last night at dinner that I had an hour-and-a-half speech, and anybody knows me, brevity is virtuous. I'm not a long speaker. But I can't help but, once again, recognize, and I know the grandmother of Katie Ledecky is here. Would you please stand up, the grandmother? What a wonderful person. And I'll tell you, all of these families, if you could see them with the interaction with their young ones or the kids here, it's so fabulous, and this is what it's all about, is families and education and athletics all coming together to recognize achievement. And again, we got some great people here today. Thank all of you for coming. And the other people I think we didn't thank, we have some coaches in the room of the players, former coaches. Would you please stand up? Thank you. All right, without further ado, and by the way, we saw the film before, so we bought an AAU card so he'd be insured in case he fainted up here. But without further ado, I'd like to reintroduce Mr. Tim Morehouse.
So now we get to my favorite part, which is we get to interview the athletes and probe them for information. Don't worry, we'll be friendly. But this is a really special night, and you guys are what it's all about. So I want to have Sean Barber. Will you come up here real quick? You're our first victim right here. Come on down. I'm going to hand you the mic. So Sean is one of our pole vaulter. First of all, who are you with today? Who's come supporting you today?
I'm with my father, my mother, George and Ann Barber, and my head coach at the University of Akron, Dennis Mitchell.
Awesome, awesome. So round of applause for them. Now, I want to ask you first, so you mentioned your dad, and I've talked about this. His nickname is Yoda.
Yes, yes.
So would you explain your dad's nickname as Yoda? It's a big nickname.
It is. It's a strange one, too. And, you know, call it his height, call it his hair, whatever you want, you know. It's just kind of the old wise guy, you know, that has kind of caught on over the years. And I guess he used to be called that a bit when he was coaching at the high school level. And
he was a pole vaulter himself?
He was for Canada back a number of years ago, and he's been in the school districts and coaching for a very long time. So I'm very fortunate to have him as my father, and he's the biggest role model I could have, so very fortunate.
Awesome,
Thank
awesome.
you.
Say it. Round of applause for Yoda. Now, I think pole vaulting, I feel very close to you because fencing and pole vaulting are not things that normal people do all the time. How did you get into pole vaulting?
Well, of course, we had a pole vault pit in my yard when I was growing up, and he still,
How many
to
of
this
you
day,
had a pole vault pit in your yard
very
growing
strange.
up?
I know, very strange, very strange. But he still does it to this day, and of course, he was much more active in it when I was growing up, when I was a bit younger. So,
What is a pole vault pit, by the way?
Just
Describe how you built a pole vault pit.
a big long runway into a big foam pit, I guess. It's the easiest way to describe it.
You have a home.
I have a home.
And a backyard.
And I have a big garage, basically.
Okay.
A big garage and big enough to have a big pole vault pit in it, you know.
Is that like you had to dig it out with shovels, or like how do you
Parts
end
of
up
it,
with
yeah,
a pole vault
parts
pit?
of it. It was a long process, a very long process, but I'm sure he had a lot of help. I probably
Did
wasn't.
you dig the pole vault pit? Like was this? How do you get a pole vault pit? Above ground. Above ground.
Most of it is
Okay.
above ground. There's parts that are below ground, of course, though. So, I mean, I was probably too young to be of any assistance, but I watched, and you know, if I could lend a hand, I'm sure I would. So.
And I was reading as well, like even before you were doing pole vaulting, you just love to jump. Like I read you used to jump off trees and off your home and off of
Absolutely,
things.
yeah. I mean, we used to have that big garage like we're talking about. We had some pits in the backyard as well, so we'd jump off the garage onto the pits, or we'd climb a scaffolding, jump onto the trampoline, jump wherever we could, you know, just anything to get that adrenaline high, you know. So that was my childhood.
And I actually read online, a bunch of pole vaulters saying like, if you do pole vaulting, you pretty much have to be. That's what I read. Is that the case?
Maybe not
because
crazy.
it seems like there's a fear factor of how doing your pole vault.
I wouldn't say any of us would ever be institutionalized, but we're on that border, you know. We definitely toe that institutionalized border. So it's about 2 stories, 19 feet to 20 feet plus if you're really good. So you get up there, and if you do something wrong, you're definitely looking at a long fall.
Good to know.
Yep.
And what kind of skills, like I think all of us, what kind of skills do you have to be a pole vaulter on your level? Like you've been setting records, like what are the things you're practicing and working on each week?
Well, it's wonderful because I grew up with all this athletic equipment in my garage. So when I was growing up, I had all these tools basically to help get my body awareness down and stuff. And I think that's the biggest part for me, you know, being able to jump on a trampoline, which is something that I work a lot with. And Dennis Mitchell, we work on a lot of that gymnastic side. And like our fellow nominees here, you know, that's something that we try to cross-train a little bit here and work on. So.
And tell me right now, future goals. So you're in your sophomore year, is that correct? Junior year at Akron University. Right. So what are your goals right now?
Well, my goals right now are just to keep, stay in the sport, stay healthy, and to keep having fun. I think that's what it's really about. And if you're having fun and doing what you like, then it doesn't matter how well you do. And I think that's the biggest thing we need to emphasize to the younger athletes is as long as you're having fun and you're doing something that you like, you're gonna do fine in it no matter how you end up. And I think that's the most important part. So that's my #1 goal and something that I remind myself of every morning. So.
And how excited has university been for you being one of the finalists for the Sullivan Award?
Well, I hope they're very proud of me. I try my best to make them look very good. And
they're watching online, by the way, back in
Perfect,
Akron,
perfect.
So.
And I feel very honored to be a part of the Akron Zips, and I feel very at home there. And they're all make me feel very, very at home and very familiarized with everybody. So for that, it's a great honor for me, and just go Zips. So.
All right, everyone, Sean Barber, congratulations, a finalist. Take that from you. Simone, give you the mic. Do you have a pole vault pit in your backyard, by the way? No? I didn't have one either, I don't know. So we had this earlier, I was trying to interview her, and we couldn't quite figure out the camera height, so I'm just gonna, so first of all, I put up a picture of you with the bee incident. So will you just tell us about the bee incident? Because this is pretty, if you look online, you type in her name and bees, she will come up right away. So what happened there?
I was getting awards, and I was on first, and then my one of my friends, Larissa Iridaci, she's from Romania, and she's like, hey, Simone, your flowers. I was like, yeah, we all got flowers, duh. And she's like, no, your flowers, look. And I looked down, and she's like, there's a bug. And it ended up being a bee, and I was like, okay, let's get this thing away from me. So I like flung it off my flowers, and then it chased me around the podium, so I jumped off, and I ran around like a crazy person.
This is during the ceremony, by the way, of which she won the gold.
So it went viral instantly.
That was one of my favorite, and there's video online, so if you want to check out Simone winning the gold and then running away from a bee literally on the podium, it is on YouTube.
And nobody could see a bee because
awesome.
It's so small, so they're like, why is she running around?
That's right. Maybe there wasn't a bee, it's just your PR team was like, it was a bee! So first of all, and also tell us who you're with today. Who's coming in here to support you?
I'm with my mom, my aunt, my Steve Penny's here.
All right, well, all those people wave, stand up, they're all around the room. Mom's here. Now, you have been having some few years since London. Will you just, I know athletes don't always like to talk about what they've accomplished, but your last 2 years have been some of the most historic in gymnastics history. Will you talk a little about what you've done the last 2 years?
I'm a 2-time world champion, and I'm a 6-time world medalist. So.
And she has, I asked her about this earlier, but she has Nastia Liukin and some of the best gymnasts who have ever performed for the U.S. saying she is probably the best ever for Team USA. So I know that's big praise, but she is doing unbelievable stuff. What is that like to hear that from these like legends that they're looking at you and saying she's doing things we've never seen before?
I look back at them and I'm like, well, you've done the same, and I think it's just such an honor to hear from them because they're in the same footsteps.
I want to tell you something really cool. She has a move named after her. So in gymnastics, okay, if you invent something, they name it after you. So you have invented a move. Will you tell these people about your move?
I invented the biles, and so it's a double straight flip with a half turn.
Will you do it here right now? No, I'm just kidding. A double flip. And if people attempted this move that you invented, that would make me so upset. What do you do when they do your move?
I think it's pretty cool actually to see somebody else attempt it, but then again I'm like, whoa, she's doing my skill.
I know, can you imagine inventing a move and then you have people doing it, and she's still competing, right? She's not 40 years old, invented a move and people are doing it. Just like she invented it like last year?
Yeah.
That's crazy, that's crazy. I need to go back and invent a move in fencing now. So tell us about how did you get involved in gymnastics? Like where did this all start?
It was a daycare field trip that my brothers worked at the daycare, and we went, and I was just copying the older girls, the team girls in the back, and then my coach's mom saw me and spotted me, and they sent a letter home.
And you were telling us, when you started, right, you were not like dubbed the one, right? You sort of, you were doing your own thing. Let's just say they didn't see you as someone who's going to be accomplishing what you're accomplishing now. Will you tell us a little about that?
They just thought I was the little girl with big tricks and I could do anything, and I just flung my body in the air.
And they were like, no, her style is all not good.
They're like, no, her form is bad, this is bad, and they were just like, no, she needs to stop.
But that's, I think, an important message for kids. People think, oh, you just got to this level, but you really had to work so hard to accomplish everything that you had. Yes. And now tell us a little bit about your future goals. Like right now, what are you aiming for? Right? Obviously, the Rio Olympics are around the corner, and what is your mission with all that?
We have Worlds this year at the end of the month, in October, and so I hope to make that team, and then next year go on to the Olympics and make that team, and then put in a few upgrades in my routines.
Are you going to be inventing a new move?
We've thought about it on like one skill on bars, and so sometimes we think about it.
What happens when you've already invented a move with your name and you invent a new move? What do they do? Is it like the Biles Part 2?
Yeah, it's the Biles 2 if I invented something else.
Amazing, amazing. I'm liking this. Well, we're going to wish you the best of luck. It's amazing what you're accomplishing. I mean, like, truly, we have on this stage, and you're one of them, one of the best athletes in the world. And, you know, any athlete, and all of you have competed, to win as consistently as you had is not easy. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, and you're doing it, and we're going to be rooting for you all the way to Rio. So congratulations as a finalist. A round of applause. Thank you. All right, so Meryl and Charlie, you guys ready? Come on down, come on down. I gotta talk to Charlie first though, because he is getting married. And how many days are you getting married?
What's today? Sunday? 6 days.
6 days,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Just a round of applause for that. Like, that's amazing that you're here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So, by the way, his fiance is also an Olympic silver medalist. I was told that she wouldn't marry you unless you won at least a silver medal. Is that true?
In the back of my head, I considered that, yes.
So I have to ask you, how much pressure is there when she's won a silver medal in ice dancing, you've won a gold medal, you've been on Dancing with the Stars, for your first wedding dance? Like, what kind of pressure is that? Will you be inventing moves you have to do at your wedding?
We're actually going to transport everyone to a local ice rink. We have a 45-minute dance that we're going to cover the... No, I mean, we just want to have a good time at our wedding. That's the biggest thing. It's not a performance for us.
All right, all right. I was telling him earlier, if I was at his wedding, I would have one of those cards and I would hold up like a 9 or something after the first dance. So
He's
I'm
the
gonna find your
Russian
wedding,
judge.
give them like 8s
Russian
and 9s
judge,
and
give me
10s to hold
9s.
up after your dance. So what is it like for you? He's getting married. You guys are obviously big partners in a different way, but
Yeah.
what's it like to see him now getting married in a week, and how are you feeling?
Yeah, it's very exciting. Tanith has been a big part of his life for a long time, and so, of course, my life too. And she's a very special person, but very special, obviously, in particularly to Charlie. And I've known Charlie since he was about 7, and I think Tanith has been an incredible influence on him. He is, and she makes him even happier, which is, I didn't even know that was possible. Person in general, but yeah.
And they actually had to compete against each other, by the way, at the Olympics. So that's pretty crazy. When she won, I can't imagine. I would have to let my wife win, by the way, if that were the case. So, yeah, and so you guys are also had an interesting partnership. I got a chance to interview them before the London Olympics, and you guys were telling me the story of how you actually came together, which is sort of like an arranged, the Sochi Olympics. What did I say, London? I'm a summer athlete, my bad. Or winter, summer, same thing. Not really. So your like families were sort of like the reason you guys came together. Will you tell about the story of how you guys, because you guys have been partners for a long time.
Sure. Well, Charlie and I were in sort of an abnormal situation in that we teamed up. We were 8 and 9 years old, more or less down the road from one another. And a lot of ice dance teams have to change countries to find the right partner, move across the country to find the right partner. And it worked from the beginning, and luckily it continued to work. And so we're just incredibly fortunate that we found our correct partners right down the street from one another.
And this was all your parents, right? Like, how does this happen? Your parents were
No,
like...
no. Actually, it wasn't.
Tell the story.
The parents have been a huge influence. Take anything away from all of the credit that they deserve, but they didn't put us together, no. My first coach, recognized, I was a little solo ice dancer, recognized that we had similar skating abilities, so we were both very short, and we both just air on the rink, and just like that, yeah, actually, we still do that. Out of the clips that they put up there. And, he just said, hey, you guys might, be good together, and our parents didn't know anything about ice dance, and we didn't know anything about ice dance.
Good for correcting the story, so you're okay, keep going.
Okay, so, so then we tried out, and I had been doing ice dance for a couple months, so for me it was a little rough to go back, and she had no idea what she was doing. But
in skating, you taught her?
Yeah, I mean, I had to just be very patient while she learned the ice dancing skill for the 1 week that it took for her to catch up and then surpass me. But no, obviously, without their guidance and teaching us the importance of respect, we never. I mean, 18 years we've been skating together, which is like, it's crazy. Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's crazy. So
that's amazing. You were actually telling a story last night at dinner. Well, it started off with your last Mind telling that story, the last time she fell. By the way, he blamed you for the fall, not himself. He said it was...
No. So, please,
I'm just going to get him in trouble now.
No, we were doing a little online chat on Twitter, and someone asked Meryl when the last time she fell was in competition, and
he said it was your fault. I just wanted to put that on the record.
So we were only 13 years old. We were at the national championships. We were in first place going into the final round, and 6 seconds from the end of the program, Meryl fell on literally nothing. Like, it was just the flukiest. And
this is the story. This is the part I want to hear now.
Okay, so it was, and in figure skating, I mean, you can step on a bead that fell off of someone's outfit, flowers. You can for no reason you can fall down. That's one of the reasons our sport is so scary. And I mean, there was no good reason why she went down, and the look on her face the rest of the night was like, never again. And lo and behold, she literally never fell in competition since 2001. That's obscene. That's like a machine, which she may be.
And was it all, he just blamed you last night for this fall, though. But did he have any part in the fall?
In that particular fall, for sure. No, he didn't.
Okay,
No.
good to know this story.
Yeah.
So you guys, since the Winter Games, have been on an unbelievable roll. Obviously, both of you have been on Dancing with the Stars. What has life been like since you've won the gold?
Incredible, I guess, in a word. It's been a whirlwind. We are really enjoying it, and it's the first time we've really stepped away from competition our whole lives, and I think it's given us a lot of perspective and time to just sort of enjoy parts of our life that we didn't get a chance to just wholeheartedly embrace before this 2014 Olympics. But just a chance to meet amazing people, have some incredible experiences, and we feel really fortunate.
Amazing. And finally, I know you guys, and we were talking, Charlie, you've accomplished, both of you accomplished a lot, but you really want to give back as well. Can you talk a little bit about your vision? Because I know you're working out really hard to really bring skating up and really want to be a part of it.
Yeah. Well, both Meryl and I are so lucky to recognize the benefits that figure skating brought to us. And I'm sure these guys would say the same thing for their sports, but figure skating really is unique in so many different ways, and the character and philosophies that we've learned on, from learn to skate where you just are falling down, that's all you do, and you get back up. And your coach points out to you, this is perseverance. This is you go on to the next stage, and you learn how to lose, essentially. And we wouldn't be champions if we didn't learn how to lose. And that's one of the beautiful things of figure skating. And then being able to combine the physicality, you saw some of the lifts, the speed, the movement, with the creative elements, the storytelling, and some of the theatrics that you just can't get from any other sports. And we really do consider ourselves very lucky to be not just figure skaters, but ice dancers in particular. And I know not many of you have had the opportunity to try that, but for kids, it's an amazing opportunity, and that you can learn a lot about yourself just the same way that we have. So it's pretty awesome, and yes, we're trying to really help figure skating show what it is capable of doing for young people.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Round of applause for them. You ready, Ezekiel? I just want to say, last night, spring football, I didn't even know it existed. How many fans came out to watch Ohio State last night?
Well, Ohio State football fans are crazy. So, we're coming off the national championship. So, yesterday we broke the spring attendance record, and we had 99,000 fans at the spring game.
That's unbelievable. Will you show everyone your ring as well? Look at the ring that they get for winning the national championship. That is amazing. That's not an NCAA violation, though, right?
No,
they can
no,
give
no.
you the ring. So tell us about who you're with here today. I know you got some family here.
I'm here with my lovely mother.
We waved on, Elliot. Wave.
My father, Stacy Elliott. One of my coaches, Ryan Stamper. They sent him here to keep me out of trouble.
He's keeping you out of trouble.
And I have a gang of family back there, uncles and cousins and aunts.
And your dad, he played football as well, is that right?
Yes, my dad played football in Missouri, and my mom ran track at University of Missouri.
Fantastic. I had asked his dad earlier, what position did you play again? Outside linebacker. He's a running back. Could you tackle him in your prime?
Take him down.
Take him down. That is Dad right there.
I'm just gonna have to let that slide.
That's a good move. That's a good move. So, obviously, your dad probably had a big influence. How did you start playing football? How did this? When did you start, and how did you start?
Well, growing up, my mom always kept me busy, and football is something I always loved. And I wanted to be like my dad, and I actually wanted to go play at the University of Missouri. And I remember in St. Louis, you only could play football at the age 7. But my mom took me out when I was 6, and they told me I couldn't, and I was heartbroken. And that's when
You brought him out to play football at 6?
He was 5.
He was 5.
One of my girlfriends, her son was 7, so we were taking him to practice, and he was just devastated because he couldn't practice with us because he wasn't old enough.
5 years. That is amazing.
All the way home.
But that started it, right? So, and tell me, obviously Ohio State, the community is so supportive. What has life been like since you won the national championship?
It's crazy. Like I said, Ohio State fans are just nuts. They call them the bug nuts. And you see, she got a fan back here with the jersey on.
He's got the jersey on.
There's a lot of Buckeyes in here. And I mean, after winning the national championship, life has changed so much. But I mean, I enjoyed it. It was a great run. It was a great experience.
Do you feel pressure now? Because now there's all this talk, your Heisman Trophy favorite. Now that you guys have won next year, like, how do you feel of the expectations now?
There's definitely a lot of pressure, but we're all athletes, and we live for that. That's what we live for. We live to compete. We live to get better and try to do things other people weren't able to do.
And what would you share with kids who are looking up to you? Because obviously you have so many fans out there. What have you learned along the way in your career?
Just hard work. Work hard. You can achieve anything you want if you just put your mind to it and work at it.
Amazing, amazing. Well, thank you. We're gonna be rooting for you all the way for Ohio State. You gotta say hi to Ohio State Nation right there. These guys voted him in. Thank you so much, man. Good luck. And last but not least, we have Katie Ledecky. Come on over here, Katie. How's it going? Katie is the type of person that makes you feel bad because at 15 she was winning a gold medal at the Olympics. And when you start to think about what I was doing when I was 15, it wasn't that much. So you've had, first of all, who is here with you today? You have a whole Ledecky clan here. So let's meet the clan.
My mom and my dad are here, and my brother Michael, and my grandma Berta, who lives in New York, so it's great to have her here, and my uncle John.
So in that video we watched earlier, now you were the interviewer, and you were just a proud father, or were you like, I've got to capture this moment of this person who's going to win Olympic gold? Like, what were you thinking when you were filming back then?
Well, it's our first race, and it turned out it was the only race I ever filmed.
And you were looking at, if you go online, but you did like a few strokes, you had to like stop and keep going.
Yeah,
so,
I would swim a few strokes, grab the lane line, wipe my nose, take a deep breath, then take a few more strokes.
It's amazing to watch because people, we watch you guys, and you're winning, and you don't realize how far these athletes have come. How many laps would you say you have swam since that video, if you had to quantify it?
A million, billions, probably. Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think that my first goal was just to get across the pool, and now I'm a distance swimmer, so I swim the longest races in the pool, which is it's pretty crazy to see how far I've come.
And you are in high school. You come back to high school after the London Games with a gold medal. Does any teacher give you anything but an A? Like, what is life like for you in high school with an Olympic gold medal?
I'm a completely normal student at school. The first week back from the Olympics, I was a sophomore, and the first week I spent answering questions and doing
class. So you're in math class? The teacher, we're not going to teach math today? Katie, how did you win a gold medal at the Olympics? Was that your math class?
No, we just did some formal Q&A sessions with the lower middle school and upper school at my school. So
science teachers like, guys, we're not going to learn science today. Katie Ledecky is in our class. How did you win a gold medal in London?
Yeah, it Is that the
That's,
question?
I don't know if it's a
Oh.
question or just like, I like want to go back in time and be you and go to high school with a gold medal. But it's incredible. It's incredible. And you swam on your high school team as well.
We just finished our high school season a couple months ago, and it was really a great 4 years of swimming with them, and it was really great to just be with my friends from school and just have that normal high school swim.
Yeah, and why did you keep doing that? Because obviously you've won an event, the Olympics, and now you're coming back to a high school team. Like, was there any thought like, well, maybe I shouldn't do this, or like, why would you still?
I didn't have any second thoughts about it.
Ezekiel's gonna go play for his high school team next year.
I think the best thing was that everybody in the Washington metropolitan community has been extremely supportive, and it's such a great swim community. There are a lot of great swimmers from that area, many Olympians that have come from the area. So I think they were just all really understanding and made me feel comfortable at those high school meets.
We were asking her about, because senior in college now, you actually had to miss your prom for a swim meet. Senior in high school. What kind of sacrifice had you to make, like, in order to pursue your dreams?
I don't really think of the sacrifices as sacrifices. I enjoy swimming, and I just enjoy every day at the pool and working hard towards my goals. And it's been great to have friends that have been extremely supportive and understanding of the fact that I have to miss some social functions here and there. And it's just really neat to have that kind of support from my friends and my peers.
And you were just at a swim competition.
Yeah.
And tell us about how that went.
It went really well. It was out in Mesa, Arizona, so I'm a little sunburned, but it went really well. I was 2 seconds off my world record last night in the 800.
No problems, right? And tell us a little about, obviously, Rio's upcoming. What are your goals and plans for Rio 2016? And your plan is to remain amateur right now? Is that right?
Yes. I'm committed to swim at Stanford. And this summer I'll be competing in Kazan, Russia at the World Championships in 5 events. And that'll be a good stepping stone towards the Olympic trials in June of next year.
Well, we're going to be rooting for you all the way. Look at these amazing athletes on the stage. Thank you, Katie. We're going to wish you the best of luck. And just, I guess you can tell, and we only are talking to them for a few minutes, but these athletes have accomplished such amazing things. So please, one more round of applause for all of them. Amazing. And now we're getting to the cool part. We're going to present the winner. But here to talk a little bit about the Sullivan Award. I'm supposed to say a few words about Sarah, but I'm actually just going to bring Sarah up. Come on up here, Sarah. This is Sarah Hughes, Olympic champion. I have to say, Sarah is one of my favorite Olympic champions. We've had some. I met Sarah at the 2004 Athens Olympics, and she's always just been the nicest. Her family is here. Where are the Hughes' families? Mama, Papa Hughes back there. Say hello to them. So nice. And Sarah's just been so amazingly nice. She does so much in the community, so much for different organizations, and obviously a Sullivan Award winner as well. But you've done so much. What can we say?
I don't know. A lot has been said already today. We can.
Okay. Think about it for just a moment longer, because we also want to show a message right now
from one
of our other recipients. Here, we want to show a message from one of our other recipients who was ill and was not able to travel, but they did, despite the fact that he was not feeling well, put a camera in front of him and 200 posters, of which you had also, from Mr. Okafor himself from Duke. So we're going to hold off for one moment and listen to our message from Jahil Okafor from Duke.
First of all, I'd like to apologize for not being in attendance today. I was really looking forward to this event and having the opportunity to meet the other finalists, the opportunity of meeting other superb athletes that the best of what they do. I'm missing out on the opportunity, and I wish I could be there. Congratulations to the finalists that are there, and I've heard a lot about the New York Athletic Club and great things, and I'm very disappointed not to make the trip. I'm grateful to be one of the finalists for this award. This is a different award that I've ever experienced, being that I'm going against other athletes in different fields. So it means a lot for me just to be one of the finalists, and congrats to everybody else that is also a finalist. I would also like to thank everybody that's helped me get to this point, from my family to my coaches. I've had a great circle around me to make this possible to be where I am today, and I'm sure the other finalists had also. I've always been a huge sports fan from all types of sports. I've grown up, I played just about everything in my neighborhood, and in particular AAU is what really helped me grow. Playing on the AAU basketball circuit has opened so many doors for me. I met one of my best friends in Tyus Jones, who's my teammate here at Duke University, and the relationship we built playing through AAU that helped us win a national championship this year. I've known him since 3rd grade, and I'm so grateful to be able to be part of the AAU family. Even another one of my teammates, Justice Winslow, I met him in 6th grade through AAU. The AAU basketball family has been amazing to me, and I wouldn't be where I am today without it. Once again, I would like to congratulate all the finalists, and thank you to everyone who made the AAU Sullivan Award so special and a prestigious event.
So now to talk a little about the significance of Sullivan Award, Olympic champion in figure skating, Sarah Hughes. Go on, Sarah.
So Tim and I have actually done this a few times before, and when Evan Lajacek, another figure skater, was nominated, Tim put a picture of us pair skating together, but for some reason I thought it was, who was my partner? It was Evan.
This was the movie, the figure skating movie, what is it, Cutting Edge?
It was The Cutting Edge. Tim's very funny. I did meet Tim in '04, and one of the great things about the Sullivan Awards and events like the Olympics are that there are many different sports together, and now my parents had, there were 6 kids, so we were always involved in a lot of different sports, although my dad was he's from Canada, and so they were always on the ice. So that's how I chose figure skating, because I was a hockey player. But now I have nieces, and they're doing a bunch of different sports, which is awesome because I'm getting to learn about some. Tim's in the new fencing, in the Chase commercial doing fencing. So one of my nieces thought this would be a good sport for her because you have a sword and you don't really have to, well, she doesn't like to practice. So we told her you don't really have to practice. What? I know, well, wait, so, well, she sees you're in a commercial and getting money out of a machine with a sword. So,
you have to practice in fencing. There's a lot of misconceptions. It's not that easy, all right?
Well, she had her first lesson last week, and after I saw my dad, and I said, how did she like it? And he goes, oh, he says, it turns out they do a lot of agility right from the beginning, so I don't think this is the one for her either. So I was asked to say a few words about the Sullivan Award. A lot has been said, and the great thing about it is that it's not just about greatness in athletics and sports. It's about substance as a person, on the playing field, off, and contributing to the greater community, to society, and that's what we have today, as you've seen from these athletes in front of us. A top amateur athlete, I think, is the separation or distinction between amateur and professional is sometimes a little confusing to people, especially nowadays, because the distinction is not as clear, and especially in events like Olympics and college sports, you see amateurs who are really in both fields. To be a top amateur athlete, you also have to be a professional. It's no more of someone's an amateur because they're not an expert or they haven't reached professional status. And so now the top amateur athletes are going around promoting their sport, being the face of their sport, taking on the responsibilities of what used to be just the professionals. They're going on talk shows, they're doing autograph signings, they're in commercials representing their organizations, their colleges, not just for themselves. So sometimes I think, and this actually hasn't really been talked about tonight, you lose the joy of it, the fun of it. Like Sean was saying, he loves pole vaulting because it's fun, and it's still fun. So I don't think it's a coincidence that the word amateur is derived from the Latin word for love. All professionals started as amateurs, and these amateurs started because they loved the sports. And that's why I love the Sullivan Awards, because it honors that, and it celebrates integrity, respect, character, real sense of amateurism, and love and joy and fun. So I think we're ready to present the award, Tim.
We are. So let's
Yeah.
have President Gowdy and Melissa back on stage. By the way, the Sullivan Award, the biggest award envelope in the history of awards. So we're going to have, here you go, Melissa, here to present the award. I'll give you want the mic?
All right, this envelope. Make sure I open it. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I am proud and honored to announce the winner of our 2014 AAU James E. Sullivan Award to Ezekiel Elliott from Ohio State.
To have Ezekiel now, our 85th annual AAU Sullivan Award winner, say a few words, and there'll be plenty of opportunities afterwards. But again, thank you all on behalf of the Amateur Athletic Union of the United States, and congratulations, Mr. Elliott, and all of you people. And I'd love to see you all back next year, because there's no rule against being re-nominated. The second time they've been nominated. And with this august group of talent up here, I can't imagine you not being back with us next year. Thank you, folks. Ezekiel?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank AAU Sullivan Award for representing the outstanding amateur athletes for the past 85 years. And second, I want to say congratulations to all the finalists. I kind of feel a little bit undeserving of this award, you know, just all these great athletes up here and all their tremendous accomplishments. Like, I can't even imagine what it feels like to win an Olympic gold medal. So congratulations to you guys for being here. And I got to thank my parents for pushing me to be the person I am. And, you know, come on, stop crying. Stiff it up. You know, they pushed me to be the person I am. You know, they demand excellence out of me, and it just drove me to be the person. I want to thank Ohio State University for just all the opportunities you guys have presented me. And last and not least, I want to thank my coaches and my teammates just for making this opportunity possible for me, because, you know, football is a team sport, and I'm nothing without my boys around me. So thank you, and you guys have a good evening.
Well, that kind of brings us to the end of our program here. Feel free to come up, take pictures of the athletes. They're here, but the program's over. And once again, on behalf of the Amateur Athletic Union of the United States, thank you for attending.